There we go. There we go. How's it, guys? We're just gonna wait a couple minutes until the chat room fills up, and then we'll get started. Start charting and analyzing the market. So just wait a couple minutes, and we'll let you know when we get started. I mean, while we're waiting for the room to fill up, what you guys can do is you can put the charts that you want us to go over, just put it in the comment section, and then over the course of the live stream, we'll actually start charting those for you. We'll give it until probably 3 minutes past, and then we'll just start going. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna start going. I'm sure the chat room will fill up just now. First of all, I just want to say welcome to the live stream. And in today's live stream, we've got a very special guest joining us today from the United States. His name's Boris, and we're going to be introducing him after what I'm going to say. So we're going to be discussing the current market conditions, whether we think the market has topped out or not. So I'm your host, Dylan and 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓, and I'm a market analyst and trader for CoinW exchange. I'm currently based in Dubai. I have over 5 years of trading experience. I started out with Forex before making the transition to trading cryptocurrencies about 4 years ago. I currently manage a client portfolio valued at around $75,000, and my approach is always proactive and adaptive, ensuring that I stay ahead of the market trends. So Boris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Boris. I'm also a full-time crypto trader. I've been trading the markets for about 6 years and about 3 years full-time. Before jumping into trading crypto, I had a career in Wall Street. I worked as an analyst at Bloomberg and also did some hedge fund research. And now I'm pretty much trading full-time, trading my own portfolio as well as a portfolio for friends and family. And I'm happy to be here to discuss the markets with you. There's a lot. I think there's a lot going on right now and a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for taking your time for being here in today's New York session. So essentially today we're going to be looking at the New York session pre-market, and Boris normally trades the session, so it'll be interesting to see his thoughts on what the pre-market has done. And yeah, so before we actually get started, we have a very, very exciting announcement to make. We're giving away $50 worth of super bonus to 10 lucky winners. So 10 of you could win some extra cash today. All you have to do is answer the question we'll be asking in the chat below, and this will take place at the end of the video. So make sure you stay until the end, and who knows, you could be one of those 10 lucky winners. So let's dive into some charts and see what the market is up to. So Boris, would you like to maybe look at the heat map to see what the overview is looking like?
Yeah, so in the morning, I just like to look at the overall heat map, see what's going up, what's going down. And overall, just looking at the heat map so far for today, there's a good amount of, it's a pretty, I guess, a mixed market. So there's a good amount of green, good amount of red, but it looks like there's more green than red on the screen right now. And some of the standout winners right now are Ethereum, Dogecoin. We got Chainlink up, Uniswap, Cosmos, and some others. And then also want to take a look at the losers for the day so far. And keep in mind, we still have a good amount of the day to go. It's only 9 a.m. Eastern. So we have 11 more hours until the crypto daily close. And some of the losers for today are XRP, Chiliz, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, but they're only down like pretty marginally, nothing crazy. It looks like they're only down about 1% or so. And then overall looks quite bullish at the moment. I think we just had some news release, some fundamental news from the U.S. economy that the initial jobless claims were much higher than expected, which is bad news for the economy, but it might be good news for the equity markets because that's going to imply a more dovish Fed, and perhaps they're not going to raise interest rates as much as the market might have initially expected. So that's kind of like what I have going on the heat map, and just overall what's going on across the markets so far.
Yeah, awesome. So I just want to take a look at the dollar index quickly. I want to show everyone what the actual rate release did to the market. So currently looking at the dollar on the 4-hour chart, we are the dollar was actually in this downtrend. You can see by this trend line actually touching this trend line multiple times. And what is happening now, once the release came out, we're actually seeing a move to the downside. Okay, so obviously this was bad news for the dollar, like Boris said, and this is why we're getting a bit of a relief bounce for the crypto market. Okay, so what's important to note here is this level at around about 101.685 is a level I'm watching for the dollar, because if it actually breaks this zone, well, then we might see a bit more of a relief bounce. But if the dollar somehow bounces back up to this trend line, well, then it looks like for me, what I'm seeing, it looks like the market may just be overextended to the upside, and we might see more of a pullback to the downside. So overall, I mean, the dollar is looking bearish here, but we need to just keep an eye out on this level. And if we see a break of this level, well, then we might see Bitcoin back up to 30,000. So yeah, we'll have a look at all the other charts now, but this is currently what I'm looking at the dollar for the moment. And what are your thoughts on the NASDAQ? Because I see, it's obviously very correlated to Bitcoin.
So that's what I try to look at every day, is how the equity markets correlate to the crypto markets. And from what I found, there's a pretty high correlation between, especially the tech sector, so the NASDAQ 100 versus Bitcoin. And right now I have the 5-minute chart pulled up for Bitcoin on the left side of my screen. And then on the right side of the chart, you can see the NASDAQ 100. And I mean, you can just see like visually the NASDAQ 100 and Bitcoin, they're following a pretty similar pattern. So I think before the economic news release, they're both going down, having quite a significant sell-off. And then pretty much at the exact same time, around literally 8:15, I guess is when the initial jobless claims came out. Had quite a nice bounce, and as you can see, they're just kind of like trading in sync, which is interesting because we're still not seeing the decoupling, in my opinion, from crypto and the equity markets. In general, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum and other crypto assets tend to follow what the equity markets are doing. So that's why I do look at the equity markets quite often, just as a general guide for direction in the crypto markets.
Yeah, exactly. And your thoughts for Bitcoin on the higher time frames, because I want to discuss obviously Ethereum, because I trade Ethereum a lot more, And what are your
Mhm.
thoughts on, like the daily and the weekly chart for Bitcoin?
Yeah. So looking at the daily right now, let me pull up one of my charting layouts. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So yesterday we had quite a significant sell-off. I think Bitcoin was down over 5%, and in my opinion, this while 5% is a pretty significant down day, um, I'm still overall bearish on the overall macro view because as you can see on my chart, we pulled back to around the $28,800 support level, which is also being supported by the 21 exponential moving average, which is this green line that I have on my chart. And right now we're just hovering right around the support level and the EMA, which is also acting as dynamic support. We also have this red horizontal line, which is the volume profile. And basically what that indicates is where most of the transactions took place over the past couple of weeks. So there's a lot of, there's been a lot of buying and selling around the $28,000 level. Um, so as long as price remains above this level, um, in my opinion, like the sell-off we saw yesterday is just a corrective pullback, and I would expect, yeah, just looking at the pre-market and the bullish activity we're getting from the news release and what's happening in the Nasdaq as well. I could see a decent bounce here to around the perhaps the $30,000 level, where we encountered a lot of resistance, and also $30,000 is just a psychological round number of resistance. And this is something that I've noticed that each like psychological round number tends to act as either support or resistance. So Bitcoin at 20,000 was a major resistance support area, and now I think 30,000 is going to be an interesting level to watch out for.
Yeah, I agree.
Then also, yeah, I also want to look at the weekly chart because
Sorry to interrupt, Boris.
yeah, go ahead.
There seems to be an echo from your side. I'm not too sure what that is.
Okay.
I think you have two things on at the same time. So maybe just turn your.
Yeah, how about now? Is there still an echo?
Let me ask the chat. Yeah, sorry about the chat. I'm not too sure. Should be fine though. Yeah, let's just wait until the chat. So I mean, I'll just quickly explain my thoughts on Ethereum. While we wait for the chat to confirm if the echo's done. So like looking at Ethereum right now, I'm gonna take a look at the higher time frame first off, just to show my thoughts on the weekly, and then I'll go through to the daily. So I mean, on the weekly chart, we can see that we had touched that that 21,025 level, which was a level where price was actually reacting from in the past. So you can see, it's the 16th of May, that was the support on the weekly, and it was also a resistance on the 12th of July 2021. So at the moment, this is still looking very good for the market, right? Because we do have a resistance at 1937, and that is what we're currently bouncing at on the weekly chart. So it's very interesting to see. There is a bit of a retracement. When whatever goes up must come down. So when you look at the daily chart, we are getting a little bit of bounce at this level at 1950. Okay, so I was thinking about looking at a short position. Once we break below 1915, and looking to target around about 1835. But obviously, with the news coming out a bit bearish for the dollar, this is something that it might be on a higher time frame play. So I'm still quite bearish, like you said. You're quite bearish in terms of Bitcoin. So I'm still looking at the lower time frames for a potential short, because essentially the market does have to retrace a little bit in order for price to actually come back down. It can't just move in one direction. So yeah, at the moment, I mean, if you look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour, we are seeing a little bit of a relief bounce. So I'm expecting that 2000 level to get hit, and potentially look for shorts at that zone. But yeah, any thoughts? Let me just see on the chats. Yeah, it's still a bit of an echo.
What about now? I just tried adjusting some of my volume settings.
Try now.
And I'm listening to the stream through my Bluetooth, so there shouldn't be an echo, which is weird. But can can the chat tell us whether there's still an echo at this time?
Yeah, just let us know in the chat if there's still an echo. It looks like we have fixed the issue. But yeah, we do have a few coins that the chat are asking us to analyze. So they're asking us to go over BNB and Bitcoin Cash. So we'll go over those two. Maybe you should go over BNB and then I'll go over Bitcoin Cash, just to see what the levels are. But let's just see.
Sure.
Let's just see if the echo is gone. I'm sure it has.
Yeah, if we can get confirmation on the audio.
There is a little bit of a delay in the chat. That's why it's we are waiting a bit. So yeah, let's just carry on, and once we'll see what the chat says, but it doesn't look like.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on BNB?
Sure, I can start talking about BNB. This was actually a coin I was actually looking at this past week for the weekly closure, and it's actually a trade I'm currently in. So I'm glad someone's asking about BNB. So the setup on BNB on the weekly time frame is pretty interesting. So as you can see on my chart, I have plotted out BNB on the weekly time frame. I've got my moving averages here, some of my indicators, and I'll briefly go into what all this means.
Sorry, bro. It looks like it might. Is it maybe your earphones?
Now let me try removing my earphones and see if that helps.
It shouldn't be that though, but it doesn't seem like it's any better.
Yeah, I just removed my earphones. Let me see if that works. 1 second.
Yeah, let's try now.
Yeah, Dylan, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Dylan, I'm gonna switch to my headphones.
Yeah, no
See
worries.
if that works. Why don't you just take over now?
Yeah, sure. Let
I
me.
think that'll fix the issue.
No worries. I'll go over Dogecoin in the meantime. Someone asked to go over Dogecoin. It is actually the coin I wanted to go over. So let's take a look at Dogecoin on the higher time frames. So what's important to note here for Dogecoin? I actually did look at this within today, right? So I'm expecting there is a bullish scenario for Dogecoin, but there's also a bearish scenario. So it's obviously dependent on two factors, right? So when looking at the daily time frame, what we can see here is price was trading within this range, okay? And currently this is our resistance at 0.09608. And if we actually start breaking above this zone on the higher time frames, then I'm looking at a potential 50% increase within Dogecoin, right? Because that is our next resistance zone. So obviously the next key level is at 0.10734, okay? But if it breaks that zone, we could potentially look at a 50% gain back up to 0.14284. So it's quite interesting. But this is all based on the altcoin market cap, right? So I do want to quickly touch on the altcoin market cap. So obviously, if you guys are in the Telegram group, I discuss this chart a lot, and essentially this resistance at 614 billion got broken within, the 14th of April. And what is actually happening now, we're seeing a retest of this level. So as long as, this level holds, we can expect price to go back up to, 679 billion, okay? So in order for me to look at the long scenario, what I would want to see is this daily candle closure close bullish above this area, okay? So once we start closing bullish above the zone, then we can look at potential long setups. So for Dogecoin, for instance, right, I'm looking at this setup where we take bars above 0.096 and look to target around about 0.10734 and potentially target the 0.14284, which is definitely an area that I'm looking at for taking profits. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, it seems like it's better now, Boris, somehow. So yeah, for Dogecoin, that is something I'm looking at. So it's more of a higher time frame play, whereas there's a lot of coins that we will go over and we will cover that are more short-term time frame. So on the the higher time frame, it is looking quite good because we are seeing a retest at this level. So longs will be valid above 0.9608. Yeah, so there is another coin that they want us to go over. It's Bitcoin Cash. I don't mind quickly going over that. I don't really trade Bitcoin Cash, but let's take a look at it.
Hey Dylan, can the chat just confirm whether
Yeah,
this has fixed the issue? Because I just switched over to my normal headphones instead of my Bluetooth. So like, can you get confirmation? I can repeat what I was saying earlier.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I guess
exactly.
start over on my side.
Yeah, no worries. Let's
Yeah, I'm reading it's better now. So
yeah, I think it should be fine. Yeah.
okay, great. Yes, I don't know how bad the echo was, and I'm happy to go over what I covered as far as Bitcoin and Ethereum goes, and everything else I discussed. But yeah, I'll just go back to the BNB chart that one of the people in the chat requested. Yeah, so just looking at the weekly chart again, we can see during this past weekly close, it broke a pretty critical resistance, which was coming around 340 bucks or so. And so just based on this condition alone, I actually entered along at the closure of last week's candle close, and I'm currently in a long position on BNB, and I am expecting further upside. We are above the moving average that I have here, which is the 21 exponential moving average, and you can just see. Looking over the chart and looking over the prior year's history, whenever price is trading below the 21 EMA, it generally indicates a bearish trend. And then when it, tries to break over this 21 EMA, price tends to reverse and go into an uptrend. So that's what we have going on right now. We are getting a bit of a pullback right now intra-week. So it's down 6% so far this week, but I still view this as a bullish setup overall on the weekly. But let's zoom in on the daily and see what's going on. So yeah, over the past few days, it had quite a nice rally starting on Friday, and it was up 1% Friday, another 1.25% on Saturday. And then, Sunday had a really nice rally, up 4%, breaking this resistance at $340. And right now it's just having, a pretty, I wouldn't say it's a significant pullback, but just a healthy pullback down to the 21 exponential moving average on the daily. And I think this will be a good bounce play. So, I don't know what time frame the person was asking to look at, but based on a daily, I think overall it still looks bullish, and I'd expect further upside on BNB, especially looking at the on the weekly time frame. So yeah, I'm bullish on BNB and think it could see continued appreciation in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I also like looking at that chart on your screen now. The weekly candle did close above that 338 level, so I mean, it does look bullish on the higher time frame. So I mean, most of the charts on, like, if we have to look at Bitcoin or ETH, like you analyzed earlier, the higher time frames are looking bullish. And these pullbacks are obviously good for the market, right? You need pullbacks in order for price to actually carry on going up. So overall, the market is looking good. Someone did say I can actually hold Doge in spot. Yes, I would agree that you could hold Doge in spot at the moment, because going back to the Dogecoin chart, it is looking quite good because price came down, retested this level, and it's still, currently making these higher highs here on the daily. Also on the 4-hour chart, it hasn't broken this low here. If it starts to break below, 0.8130, then I'd look at maybe, taking out a bit, but it still looks very good. And I'm looking at a potential long setup for Dogecoin. So also someone said how the news is going to impact Doge. Well, the news at the moment, right, was obviously a bearish scenario for the dollar. So it would be short-term bullish for all the cryptos. I'm not too sure in terms of the higher time frame view, but if the dollar actually breaks below 101.6, I'm expecting more of a rally within the next couple of days. But yeah, I know you did chart a few coins. Are there any other coins that you would like to go over? I know you did have a few that you do trade.
Yeah, actually, since we were having the issues earlier, I actually want to go over an interesting signal I'm looking on the weekly time frame for both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yes, I just like to take a few minutes and tell the viewers what I'm looking at and the potential, very interesting setup that we have going on the longer time frames. So
Awesome.
I'll share my screen right now. And so right now I'm looking at the Ethereum Bitstamp chart on the weekly time frame, because I think Bitstamp has the longest trading history for Ethereum. And so I'm going to zoom in here on the weekly, and I want to just explain to people what I'm looking at. So I have two exponential moving averages plotted out here. This purple/pinkish line is the 55 exponential moving average, and this yellow line is the 13 exponential moving average. And basically the significance of these two EMAs is that whenever they cross over, so whenever the 13 EMA crosses the 55, that's a very bullish sign. And right now we're right on the verge of potentially confirming a cross. Right now it's still unconfirmed. So this is, we have to wait and see if this happens. But I want to go back. The 55, and this initiated a strong weekly down move. And I have this measured out. So this cross confirmed on May 9th of 2022. And when this happened, Ethereum saw a weekly drop of over 50% from the day the cross actually happened, all the way to the bottom. So that was a very powerful signal. And then if we go back further in time, we actually had a bullish cross back in May of 2020, actually June of 2020. And so you can see the yellow line going above the purple pink line, which is the 55 EMA. And this initiated a very strong bullish impulse. And by strong, I mean, this was just an incredible move. So if you were to take this signal when the 13 EMA crossed over the 55 and actually held this trade all the way to the top, that's an appreciation of, it sounds crazy, but close to 2,000% returns. So about, that would be like a 20x return on Ethereum, because when this cross first happened, I was trading around $250, and we went all the way to close to $4,000. So that was an incredible move.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the time before that, we had another bearish cross. And this was in August of 2018. So when the bearish cross happened, which is the 13 EMA going below the 55, we had an 84% down move from about $500 all the way down to around $80 or so. So yeah, I just wanted to showcase this potential powerful setup that could be occurring very, very soon. And just, just looking at the current setup, this is still yet to be confirmed on Ethereum. However, I just want to quickly switch over to the Bitcoin chart, because on the Bitcoin chart, this is actually closer to being confirmed. But we still have to wait for the weekly closure, and we have 3 days and 11 hours until the Sunday night close. So as you can see, the 13 EMA is above the 55, which is obviously very bullish. But we have to wait for the weekly closure to confirm this. So as of now, if price were to close like this at the $20,000 or $29,000 level, this cross would be confirmed, and I would, just based on the historical past setups, I would expect further price appreciation. And the reason I want to look at the Bitcoin weekly chart for this kind of indicator setup is because there's more history. So we have 10 years of history for Bitcoin and more iterations of this setup. So similar to Ethereum, the last bearish cross of the 13 and 55 EMA occurred also in April of last year, and that initiated a down move of over 63% from top to bottom. And then before that, we had obviously a bullish cross in also May of 2020, similar to Ethereum, and we saw an appreciation of Bitcoin of over 600%, which is just incredible. So, and just imagine if you were to apply some leverage that CoinW offers, you'd be looking at massive gains. And on a weekly setup, this has a very high success rate. So, this is why I'm quite potentially excited about this trade setup. And then going back again, we had another bullish cross in May of 2019, and that initiated a move from, from about $9,000 all the way to 13,500, which was about a 57% move, which is just incredible. And that's just trading spots. So imagine if you just apply a low amount of leverage, like 2 to 3x, you could amplify those gains by 100 to 150%. And then, going back further, we have a bearish cross here, which initiated a move of over 50% down to the $3,000 level. This was back in 2018. And then just a couple more examples to go.
That's interesting though. So at the moment, we're currently facing a cross to the upside. So
we have to. I think I'll just stop right there. You guys can plot these EMAs on your chart and just back test for yourself and just and see what I'm talking about. But actually, Bitcoin has a lot more iterations of this cross happening, and it has a very high success rate on other assets as well, such as the Nasdaq, and other assets that have more trading history. So this is one setup that I'm looking at, and there's some nuances to this kind of setup. So right now you can see it's kind of like trading. So the cross is coming in around $26,000, and we're currently trading, about $3,000 over the cross. So what I would like to see is actually price come down and test the cross at around the $26,000 level, and that would be just a very good low risk but high reward trade. But like I said, we have to wait for this weekly candle to close, because a lot can happen in the next few days. And actually, if price were to sell off and kind of like unwind this cross, then this would actually be a very bearish sign, and it would basically be kind of like a fake out. So instead, we would have a bearish cross instead of a bullish cross, and that would actually make me think of targets potentially much lower than the $26,000 level, perhaps retesting the 20K level and below. But for now, the setup is bullish, and we just have to confirm this in the next 3 days and 11 hours.
Yeah, I mean, also like if looking, sorry to disrupt you. I mean, looking at your chart right now, like if price had to come down and tap into that 25K level, that 24,867, it could still retest that those two EMAs and still bounce off that level. So that's still a possibility, a potential retest of that zone. What do you think of that? It's still going to be bullish because that crossover would still happen, right?
Yeah, because I completely agree with you. Because right now, I mean, let's say price were to end like this and confirm the cross. We are a little bit above these moving averages, so it wouldn't be the ideal place to enter into a trade. But ideally, once we confirm the cross and retest it, that would be an optimal entry point. And like I said, this has a very high success rate. So I mean, just going back in time and looking at all these prior iterations, this has incredible implications either on the downside or the upside. So there are some instances where fake out occurs, which I could get into that another time. But just looking over my back testing data, this has about a 75% success rate, which is really good. So I'm just waiting to see how the weekly candle closes. But so far, I'm pretty bullish overall, and if we get confirmation of the cross, I'll be expecting targets up to perhaps 40,000 or 50,000 in the long term over the coming year.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm also seeing pretty much the exact same thing. Like if I look at my charts for Bitcoin, I'm looking at a potential retest, potentially to that 25K level. But I mean, that's probably the worst case scenario. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but if it had to happen, this is what I would be expecting. So, like at the moment, right, we have not yet tested that level, that 25K level. So you can see to the upside, what I'm seeing is, the market is losing a bit of momentum. It's forming this rounded top kind of formation, right? And this kind of implies that we might see a bit more downside. So if we start losing that 27K level, that 25K zone would be where I would be looking at for potential long positions. It's definitely a zone where a lot of people have limit orders set, and I would expect price to actually tap into that zone. Um, but we obviously, if we do bounce from this area at around about 28,800, which we are getting a bounce now, then obviously that scenario is gone. But I'm still looking at the short scenario where price closes below 28,600 on the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart, and then I'll be looking at short positions back down to 27,700. But yeah, I mean, on the higher time frames, if you look at the weekly chart, it does still look very bullish. But I mean, we haven't, if you look in the higher time frame, we haven't really had a retracement on the weekly. So that's kind of why I'm thinking of price coming back down to, this 25K level, which is obviously a level that took so long to break. It took over, I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, it took around about 238 days to actually cross that level. So I'm expecting a move back down to that zone on the higher time frame, but on the daily charts it is still looking okay. But if it starts losing that 27K level, we will see that 25K. So yeah, that's something. I mean, it correlates pretty much to what you were saying as well. So I'm just gonna go over a few of the altcoins I'm looking at, and then I know that you have a few coins that you want to go over, and we can talk about the shorter time frame to look at potential setups. because I was looking at a Filecoin setup earlier, and what's actually quite interesting is this setup that I'm looking at is a short position, but it's also potentially a long position. Okay, so when I look at the chart now on the 4-hour chart, I can see that we have a resistance / support at around about 5.838. Okay, and once we actually see a 4-hour or 1-hour candle closure above that zone, then I'm expecting price to actually go back up to 5.959, and then that's where I'm looking at a potential short. So I'll be looking at like a long back up to 5.9, and then look to short back down to the current where price is currently. Because if you look on the 4-hour chart, it was in this uptrend, and what actually happened on yesterday, we broke that support, and the market structure has not retraced as of yet. So I'm looking at that scenario. Any thoughts on other coins that you're looking at? Any altcoins that you're looking at currently?
Yeah, I'm looking at Link. Also on the similar to the BNB setup that I was talking about earlier. Link had a very successful, very bullish close on the weekly time frame. So it kind of took out this resistance that I have plotted out about around the $8.08 region. And yeah, intra-week it actually had quite a nice move all the way up to close to $9. I'll just zoom in on the daily time frame so it's more clear. So yeah, the weekly closed on this candle right here on Sunday, April 16th. And I actually took a long position right here based on the fact that it closed on a higher high in the weekly. And actually it also took out this daily high back in February. And after that, we had quite a nice bullish move of close to 6%. And actually, I already took profit on this trade, but I might be looking to re-enter depending on how the current weekly candle closes. Because actually, right now it's having just a slight pullback of around 2.6%. So I think actually right now this would actually be a better entry point just based on the weekly time frame. And as far as the daily goes, yeah, I actually like the daily setup as well. It's above the 13 EMA. It came back yesterday and tested it. So even though yesterday Link went down almost 10%, the overall structure remains bullish and just looks like a very bullish setup. So I like the way the chart looks right now. And yeah, Link is one of the standout altcoins that I'm looking at that could potentially outperform, the blue chips like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean that looks interesting. I mean it's currently retesting that level, so I think that obviously your EMA is currently acting as a support zone. So if it loses that zone, we could expect more of it down to around about that 6.2 area. But I mean at the moment, as long as it holds that 21, that's a 21 moving average, right?
Yeah, the yellow is the 21, and then the purple line, that's the 55, which kind of acts as like tertiary support.
Okay.
So yeah, the way I like to use EMAs is have like a kind of like a fast moving EMA, which in my case is 21, and then like the 55 is kind of like a secondary area of dynamic support. So if it loses the 21, I would expect a pullback to the 55, which is coming in around $7.30.
Yeah, so someone's asking what coin is this? It's Chainlink.
Yeah, this is Link, guys. So yeah, Chainlink.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to quickly go over, but before I go over another coin, I just want to make an announcement about the giveaway. So if you guys weren't here in the beginning, we are doing a giveaway to the first 10 people that answer 10 questions. So essentially, at the end of the stream, we're going to ask 10 questions, and if you answer first, you'll be able to get 50 USDT super bonus in your account. So after the live stream, you can just put your UID within the chat, and then we'll give you an airdrop at the end of the live stream or within the next day or two. So make sure you stay until the end because you will be able to get that $50 bonus within the end of the stream. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly say that again, just because there's a few new people that have joined currently. So yeah, I mean, obviously Chainlink looking like it is holding support, and obviously that daily closure did actually close back in the range. So could you expect price to tap into the 8 level and then see a retracement, or do you expect price to actually pull back to the 8.6 highs?
Yeah, so right now, yeah, just the way, well, let's actually zoom in on the lower time frames. Yeah, so you can see on the 4 hours, we had quite a, like, I'd say it's almost a parabolic move to the 8.8 level, and we had a pretty steep decline since then. So I think for now, at least on the lower time frames, this has topped out for now. But just looking at my on the 4-hour setup right now, it is below the key moving averages, the 21, EMA, and the 55. But it's kind of like maintaining this level right now. So the $7 and 75-cent level. So as long as it can maintain this level, overall remain bullish and perhaps see a retracement back up to the 8.25 level. And then we'll see what happens from there if we can actually take out this high.
Yeah.
But for now, if anyone's trying to trade Blink, I would, yeah, as long as it's above $7.75, I'd remain bullish. And then I could potentially see this going as high as $8.25, where would probably be a good area to take profits. We have a good horizontal resistance line coming in here, and then if we can actually take this out, I could see it going back to the retesting the highs, and then we would just have to see and wait what happens after that, because that's really what trading is all about, just reacting based on the price action.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as it stays within 8.2 and 7.5, I mean, what I'm seeing is obviously that's still bullish, because once you start losing that level, that's when you start looking at the 6.2 zone. So yeah, for me also it's looking quite bullish on the 4-hour chart at least.
Yeah, and
yeah.
So is the sound, guys? Is the sound good now?
Yeah, everyone's saying that it's way better.
So I heard some mixed things. Like some are saying it's very slow, or
yeah,
well, others are saying it's good now. It's better now. So
yeah, so I think it's
I'm not.
I think it's good now.
Okay, that's good. Good. Yeah, actually, I have a couple other coins I want to go through.
Yeah, awesome.
But is there anything else you wanted to cover for now?
No, I'll let you go over your coins, and then I've got, I think, two coins that I do want to go over. But yeah, go ahead.
Great. So yeah, another asset I'm looking at was Litecoin, and this is another just very similar setup to Link and BNB, just based on the weekly time frames. So that's kind of like how I tried. That's how I start my trading analysis. Just kind of going over a top-down view. So I start at the weekly and then go down to the daily time frame. And actually, what happened with Litecoin yesterday is very interesting, because we had a very bullish close. It was up 10% on the week, and it took out these previous highs. So it made pretty much a new year-to-date high. And right now we're pulling back, and as you can see, just looking at the week on the weekly candle right now, we tagged the 55 and 21 EMAs, and for me, this is actually a very good spot potentially for a long setup on the weekly time frame for a potential swing trade, because as long as price can stay above this purple moving average, which is the 55 EMA, this is overall bullish for me, even though it's down 8% this week. If you're looking for a swing trade, I think this could be a potential setup. And you have a very low risk, high reward setup here, because if price just goes below the 55 EMA, you can just set your stop loss around here, and your potential upside is quite high. So this is another setup I'm looking at. So yeah, BNB, Link, Litecoin, they seem to be making a comeback because they've been depreciating, especially against the Bitcoin pairings. So yeah, I like what I see on the weekly time frame for Litecoin, and let's just zoom in on the daily and see what's happening. So we can see it kind of broke out from this. I guess you could call it an ascending triangle that we were forming going back late last March. And it was just forming, like higher highs and higher lows, which is a very bullish structure. And then finally broke out from this ascending triangle or symmetrical triangle last Thursday, and it had a nice move since that breakout. Let me just measure this. So yeah, it had about a 9% move, and now it is pulling back into this, I guess, triangular structure. And overall, it's holding the 55 EMA right now. So as long as it can maintain the 55 on the daily, which actually also coincides with the 55 on the weekly, so I like the compliments here. I like Link Litecoin as a potential long setup, especially given the pullback right now. I think this might be a good entry point and something I might, some potential trade I could possibly reassess and go in at the end of the day or at the end of the week after I evaluate things. Yeah, what do you think, Dylan, about Litecoin? I'm curious about your view.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see on the weekly chart that it actually made a new high. So what I'm looking at now, I mean, on the weekly chart, it did break below, I mean, that weekly low, right? So it hasn't closed below there. So if it closes below that weekly low, then I'm expecting more of like a bearish scenario. But as long as it stays above that, obviously the purple line, which is the EMA, and obviously above the previous week low, then I'm still bullish, right? So we'll have to kind of wait and see if it closes, above or below that zone. But yeah, at the moment it's still on the bullish side of things because it's respecting those EMAs. So I mean, yeah, exactly what you said. That's a 55 EMA, which is the yellow one, right? So
the yellow is the 20, the 21, the purple is the 55.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, as long as it stays above the 55 on the weekly, I would expect price to just to be bullish because I mean it's creating highs and lows, right? It hasn't as of yet broken the low, which is why I'm still also on the bullish side, especially on some of the other coins as well.
Yeah, and Dylan, I think it would be interesting if we kind of like the coins we went over, Litecoin, Link, and we went over Filecoin and ADA. If we actually plot it against the Bitcoin pairings, because I think that's an important chart that people may not be aware of. Yeah, exactly. But it's good to see how all these altcoins compare to their Bitcoin pairings. Yeah, I don't know. I could start off perhaps with
go for it.
Analyzing Link versus Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me go ahead and do that. So
because also
that's what I don't know.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because basically, like the Bitcoin dominance chart also has been rejected, so it will be interesting to see what like the altcoins are doing against Bitcoin. So I'm quite interested to see what's happening here.
Yeah, so right now I have the Link Bitcoin chart. Well, Link versus Bitcoin on the daily. And we can see over the past few weeks, Link has been in a strong downtrend relative to Bitcoin. So while like the Link US dollar chart was probably going up at this point, just because Bitcoin is going up, actually comparatively speaking to Bitcoin, Link was actually losing dominance and market share. But we can see that since about late last week, about Friday, there's been a bullish impulse against the Bitcoin pairing, and we took out this resistance level of about, this is like point not 2690 satoshis. And right now, I think Chainlink has bottomed out versus the Bitcoin pairing, and we can see I have this momentum/volatility indicator at the bottom of my chart, and it's indicating a very strong bullish momentum move, and it's breaking through the key moving averages that I look at on the daily time frame. So it's currently above the 21 EMA and actually above the 55. And just yesterday we retested the 21 EMA, and we also retested this resistance line. So right now it looks like it's acting as support. So that actually gives me even more confidence in the potential link setup on the weekly time frame. So yeah, that's why I like to look at how these altcoins compare versus Bitcoin, because during this time, like Chainlink might have been, well, not might have been, it was going up relative to the US dollar value, but if you would compare it to Bitcoin's price action, it would be going down, and now it's actually doing the opposite. So, and I actually think a lot of different altcoins are also showing some strength versus their Bitcoin pairings. No, what's your view on
just looking
on
at
the Bitcoin
that,
pairings?
just looking at that chart right now, it links perfectly towards the altcoin market cap, right? Because like I said earlier, when looking at the altcoin market cap, we can see that price at the moment is doing exactly what it's showing on your chart right now. So essentially, if you look at the daily charts, so for Chainlink against Bitcoin, you can see that it's retesting the previous resistance, and same thing goes with the altcoin market cap. Price is retesting previous resistance, so that's obviously a bullish sign for the altcoins. So that means that the Bitcoin is actually losing dominance, which is what you said. So that's why, as long as we stay below 614.74 billion, I still remain bullish in terms of the altcoins. So I mean, at the moment, we just need to wait for that daily closure, and once we get a daily closure, I think a lot more things will seem more clear. But to answer the question in terms of, has the market topped out? I don't think it has. What I'm just seeing now, and I'm sure what Boris is seeing, we're just seeing a minor retracement, which is very, very healthy for the market. So overall, the market on the higher time frames are looking bullish, and especially the altcoins. We're still expecting so much more for the altcoins. We haven't seen that, that 50% Doge increase, or that 25%, Chainlink increase within a day, because that's still going to happen. So at the moment, we just need to wait for the daily candles to close, and once we see a closure, above this level that I'm looking at, 614, it would confirm that the retest is valid, and we can expect more upside. So it correlates perfectly to the Chainlink to Bitcoin chart, and if I had to pull out, the Cardano to Bitcoin chart, it would probably be very similar. So at the moment, it's looking like the altcoins are obviously a bit stronger than Bitcoin at the moment. So that's the current scenario that I'm looking at in terms of the altcoin market cap. But I do go for it.
For myself, to answer the question in the title, is the rally sustainable, or have we reached the top? I pretty much echo Dylan's thoughts, just based on what we covered and what I covered, especially given the potential weekly setup we have going on with Bitcoin, with the potential the cross we have between the 13 EMA and the 55 EMA. So I mean, if this cross confirms in 3 days and 11 hours, I would say this rally is sustainable. We might have a pullback. Day to day, the market has a natural ebb and flow, so things are not going to go straight up. So, for now, I think maybe on the lower time frames, we've reached just a local top. So, the top for now is around the $31,000 level, but this is just the lower term time frames. I think if you zoom out and look at the daily and weekly time frames, I think we have more to go, and especially in light of the recent economic news with the economy not doing as great as I guess the Federal Reserve would expect. This would actually have bad news is good news with all these economic data releases. So I would expect the Fed to not be so hawkish with raising interest rates and perhaps stopping interest rate hikes or potentially even starting cutting rates, which would be very, very bullish for not just Bitcoin, but pretty much all risk on assets such as the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 as well. So for right now, long term, I remain bullish. In the short term, we might have some pullbacks, and there's some resistances we're facing, but long term, a few months down the line, I expect it's hard to come up with price targets, but given the power of this weekly indicator cross that I've outlined, we could see a very powerful move of over if you go back on the weekly time frame, I mean, these moves are, in some cases, they're, at the very least, they're 50% moves from top to bottom. So, at the very least, I could see a move to 40,000 if this cross can confirm on the weekly time frame. And similar to Ethereum, I think, Ethereum could reach perhaps 2,500 or maybe even 3,000 later this year. But I remain long-term bullish. Short-term, maybe slightly bearish, but long-term, I think the rally will continue.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. I want to go over Ethereum as well to see the price targets of, because I'm the same with you. Like in terms of long-term, I remain very bullish, because if you look at the higher time frames, like the weekly chart, like you said, we have broken. For Ethereum, the level was 19, 34, 35, and we've come back into this range. So as long as we stay above this zone on the weekly chart, then I'm expecting price to come back to the 2,500 level, which is the support, and then eventually back up to the 3,300 level, which is something I'm looking at. So on the weekly chart, it is bullish, and then the daily chart as well, it still remains bullish, because what is happening now is we're just seeing a retracement, but on the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart, it is a little bit bearish, but that's just because the market does need to come down before it goes back up. So higher time frames are definitely bullish. So I think it does correlate with what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, if the chat has any more questions that they want to ask, or if they have obviously any more charts they want to go over, then you'll be able to do that. Just put it in the comments below. We can go over that. We have discussed quite a lot of charts within today's session. And then remember that at the end of the session, we are doing a giveaway, which is people have the opportunity in the chat to actually get 50 USDT if they answer the questions. So there will be 10 questions. And if you answer the question right, there's no really right answer. But if you answer the question, you'll be able to get an airdrop of 50 USDT. So I think we can probably start with the first question, and what I'll do is I'll put it in the chat and I'll also read it out so everyone can get it. So the first question is, what cryptos are you currently holding in your portfolio? So the first person that actually answers this question will get the 50 USDT airdropped, and what we'll do is we'll write down your name and then just make sure you post your UID in the chat, just so you can be eligible to win this prize.
Yeah, while we're waiting for people to answer the questions or request more charts, do you want to talk about what's currently happening? It's been an hour since we analyzed what's happening in the pre-market, and so far it looks like things are going in a bullish direction. Just looking at all the CoinW pairings, all the future pairings, it looks, for the most part, everything is going up so far. And we're getting pretty decent bounces from yesterday's sell-off. I actually want to look at, I don't know if my screen is being shared, I want to look at AVAX right now on the daily. This is like one of the. It's actually one of the trades I took yesterday, just given the pullback that we had of over 10%. And the reason I took this trade is because AVAX has actually been one of the outperformers in the past couple of weeks versus Bitcoin, and had quite a nice parabolic move to around the $21.5 level, and it pulled back to the 21 EMA right here, which as you guys have seen, I like using exponential moving averages as dynamic support or resistance zones. So yeah, just based on the daily close yesterday, I went long right here, and this trade is currently up about close to 2%, so that's going well. What about you, Dylan? Are there any trades that you're currently in?
Yeah, well,
Either long or short?
someone mentioned they want us to go over 𝗕𝗃 and Solana, so I don't mind going over that. So I'll go over 𝗕𝗃 in the meantime. I'm currently.
I can do Solana later because
Yeah,
I'm actually in a Solana trade, so that's
okay,
perfect.
awesome. Yeah, I'll do 𝗕𝗃 and then you can go over Solana. So essentially, I mean, for 𝗕𝗃, I'm not in any setups today. I'm more of a day trader, where Boris is more of a swing trader. So at the moment, if you look at 𝗕𝗃, what's quite interesting is on the hourly chart. Let me start off with the daily chart and I'll go down. But on the daily chart, we have actually closed below this this support over here, which is quite interesting. So there could be more downside for 𝗕𝗃, back down to the 1.04 level, which is an area where I'll be looking at longing the market. So that is the area that I'm looking at. If you look at the 4-hour chart, also very interesting that it's retested this current support at 1.0823. So if it actually closes below, this level at around about 1.0736, I'm looking at a potential short setup here for 𝗕𝗃. So I'll be looking to short it if we get a 1-hour candle closure below 1.0740. And then your stop loss would have to just be, above the previous high over here at around about 1.0921. So yeah, that's my current thoughts on 𝗕𝗃. It is looking a bit more on the bearish side just because of what I'm seeing now. On the it looks like crypto is currently, well, 𝗕𝗃, for example, is currently finding a resistance at this support. So yeah, if you don't mind going over Solana, someone did suggest that.
Sure, and I just want to add some further commentary towards 𝗕𝗃. Just looking at the daily chart, it doesn't look that great if you're a bull on 𝗕𝗃, because we had a 7.5% down move yesterday, and it's currently below both key moving averages that I look at, and it kind of wasn't even able to really break above last month's resistances, whereas other altcoins were able to take out their resistances from last month. So don't really like what I'm seeing on 𝗕𝗃. And then if you also look at the 𝗕𝗃 Bitcoin chart, it wasn't even able to get above the 21 exponential moving average on the daily versus the Bitcoin pairing. So it looks like it's even it's looking weak both on the US dollar chart and on the Bitcoin chart. Those are, I don't know, just my further thoughts on 𝗕𝗃. Let me switch over to Solana now, which I think is definitely has more of a bullish structure here, at least on the daily. Also, it would help, guys, if you would let me know which time frame you're looking at, because I don't know if you're looking at the 5-minute or the 4-hour or the daily, but I'm happy to analyze any time frame. But I'll just revert to the daily because I think that's the most important time frame. So yeah, I think the daily actually doesn't look that bad. Yesterday we had a move of about close to 9%, and it pulled back right to this support zone at about $22.75. And also pulled back to the 21 EMA, which, as you guys know, I like using as a dynamic support or resistance. So we have like two positive things here. It's retesting the support level, it's retesting the 21 EMA, and this is actually another trade that I'm in. I bought the dip on Solana yesterday, and we'll see what happens from here. Right now, it's pretty much at break even, and I'd perhaps expect to move back up to maybe the $24 level right here, and then we'll have to see if we can take out the high around 25, $25.50. Um, and yeah, and the invalidation for this trade is basically if it closes below the 55 EMA at $21.85, I'd be out of the trade and just take a small loss. And the risk to reward in the trade is pretty good because you don't really have to wait that long to find out if you're long. So you'd be risking just $1 to find out whether you're right or wrong, and the potential upside on Solana, could be pretty significant. So let me just take a measured move from the current price to the potential resistance, the next resistance zone. So that would be about a 6% move from where we are right now. So I think, overall Solana looks pretty good on the daily, but we have to confirm this on a daily closure. So as of now, it still looks bullish overall. However, if it does go below $21.85 or so, I'd shift my stance and lean more towards the bearish side. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Solana? Maybe you can look at the lower time frames and see what you're looking at.
Yeah, I completely agree for the Solana setup. Let me just grab my chart here and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So essentially for Solana, I'm looking at this level over here. So if you're looking at this time frame, it's the 1 hour time frame, and essentially we are currently sitting at, let me just grab this level. So we're currently sitting at, this level at 22.21, which is the current support, okay? So as long as we stay above there, I'm still bullish in terms of, the 1 hour time frame. In the 4 hour time frame, it is finding a reaction at that zone. So as long as we stay above there, we can still see more to the upside. But if we actually start closing below there on the 4 hour or the 1 hour chart, then obviously we can see more of downside. So I would be looking for sells at that region to around about 19.75. So yeah, but that's only if the 4 hour candle actually closes below 22.21. If it doesn't close below there, well then it's still bullish in terms of price, coming up to the upside. So yeah, I think it correlates quite well with your views. It's just about these closes. We do need to see certain candles to close. Yeah. So yeah, at the moment, still waiting for price to close. Yeah, I'm waiting for the 4 hour candle to actually close to see what I'm going to do for Solana. So yeah, I mean, looks like someone says they use the RSI a lot for the next question. So yeah, congrats for yeah, you are the first person. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, please can you post your UID in the chat, and then you'll be able to get the 50 USDT bonus after the session. So we just need your UID as well as 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. You also won for the first question. There is going to be 10 questions, so there will be an opportunity for most of you guys to get an answer. So I will be asking the next question within the chat now, so you guys do have the opportunity to get this bonus. So the next question is, it will be in the chat, and essentially question number 3 is, what do you think are the key factors that influence the price of cryptocurrencies? So remember that it's the first person that answers gets the prize for the $50 USDT bonus. Yeah, so remember just to put your UID in the chat, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, because you guys were the first person that answered the first 2 questions. And then obviously, it looks like 𝗕𝗢𝗠𝗪 is, the winner for the next one. So well done for doing that. You are eligible to get your 50 USDT bonus. Make sure you put it in the chat, your UID. We need that so we can actually give you the airdrop. So that would happen within the next few days. So we do need your UIDs. Please post them in the chat. And yeah, and remember, you can only get the answer once. So obviously, we already have your 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗧, so you can't really answer again. But we do have 3 winners at the moment, so make sure you put your UID in the chat. We do need that so we can actually give you the bonus. But yeah, is there any other charts that you want to go over, or do you think we should just carry on with the questions? It feels like we have gone over. Yeah, what do you think?
I actually think it would be interesting. I know we if you take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart,
Yeah,
because I think there's interesting things happening there. But actually, what I want to look at is something that perhaps people don't look much at, which is the Ethereum dominance chart, which I think is actually quite interesting right now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the daily chart on the Ethereum dominance. I'm just gonna remove my EMAs because I don't think they're relevant for a dominance chart, because obviously you can't trade a dominance chart.
Yeah.
But there's some interesting things happening on the weekly for the Ethereum dominance. So similar to Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum dominance is just measuring the market share that Ethereum has in the market. And I think me and Dylan and the other analysts over the past month or so has been discussing how Ethereum has been pretty weak in comparison to Bitcoin. But over the past couple of weeks, we've had a 2.5% increase in Ethereum dominance early this month. And then last week, Ethereum dominance went up by 5%. So I think it's actually interesting to look at the Ethereum dominance chart. And I think there could perhaps be some rotation happening, more money flowing into Ethereum instead of Bitcoin right now, because Ethereum has been so weak over the past really weeks now, that I think it could be perhaps Ethereum's turn to rally a bit against the Bitcoin pairing. So I just thought it'd be interesting to look at the Ethereum dominance chart for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What are your thoughts? Do you ever look at the Ethereum dominance?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to quickly, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗬, well done. You have won the 50 USDT bonus. Please remember to put your UID in the chat so we can actually airdrop that to you. We do have 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗚 and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓𝗓. We need 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗚's UID as well as 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗬, and then we do have 𝗕𝗪𝗪's and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓𝗓. So yeah, the next question, I think we should just do all the questions now, just because it has been a long session, but it also gives the opportunity for the other people to get the answers. So yeah, remember that you can only answer a question once in order to actually get the bonus. So obviously if you answer twice, you won't be eligible to get $100, but you can only actually get $50. But remember that to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗬 to put your UID in the chat so we can obviously give you that airdrop, as well as 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪, because at the moment we don't have your UIDs. So the next question is, how do you determine your take profit and stop loss levels? Nearest support and resistance levels. So yeah, tick videos, that means that you are eligible for the USDT bonus. Well done. And yeah, I mean, make sure to put your UID in the chat below, and then we'll be able to send you that within the next 2 days. So make sure you put that in the chat, as well as 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗬 and 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗑. We need your UIDs in order for you to actually get those bonuses. So the next question is, what advice would you give people just beginning their trading journey? So that is the next question. Remember, you can only answer once. You won't be able to be eligible for 2 $50 USDT bonuses. Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. We've noted that your UID. We just need 𝗖𝗢𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪, and yeah, that's it for now. And then obviously tick videos. Please, can you post your UIDs in the chat so we can write them down and send you the bonus. So make sure the next question is, what advice would you give people just beginning their trading journey? Remember, the first person that answers this question will be eligible to get that bonus. Don't let your emotions influence your trade decisions. Yeah, that's a very, very good advice, but you have already answered the question, so we have to give the opportunity to someone else. But that's very good advice for people that are starting. My advice would be, when you're in doubt, don't trade. There will be more opportunities. Yeah, that's perfect advice, and that allows you to actually be eligible for the USDT bonus, which you'll get $50 in your account within the next 2 days. So well done to, I think it's 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗪𝗦. I can't really pronounce your name properly, but please make sure you post your UID in the chat below. We still need 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗦. We have everyone else's, and then obviously 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧videos. Please post your UID. But well done to 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦. The next question is, where do you think the market, Bitcoin or ETH, will be by the month end? So by the end of April. There is 10 questions, so there's 3 more after this. So if you haven't had the opportunity to apply for the bonus, you still have another 3 questions to actually get that bonus in your account. So the next question is, where do you think the market will be by the end of the month? So by the end of April. I do see that obviously there's not a lot of people in the chat, so yeah, make sure if you guys have any other people that want this bonus, tell them that just share the link to them in Telegram or wherever you communicate, and make sure that they hop in so they'll be able to get this bonus, because you can only win one $50 bonus. So please share this to anyone that wants that bonus.
Yeah, guys, it's a very generous bonus, so we should have more people tuning in.
Yeah, exactly. Bullish by month end. Yeah, I mean, Baba and Cynthia, we already have your UIDs. Yeah, so it looks like Abdullah, you're eligible to actually get the bonus. Thanks for answering that question. Please make sure you put your UID in. You have actually won that $50 bonus. 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗦, thanks for putting your UID. The next question would be, do you have any routines that help you with getting into successful positive trading mindsets? So all we need, we do need 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗬, and yeah, that's it for now. We just need 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗬 UID, and obviously Abdullah, we'll need your UID so we can give you that bonus. Next question is, do you have any routines that help you with getting into a successful positive mindset when trading? Yeah, what's your opinion, Boris, for any routines for successful and positive trading mindsets?
Yeah, so I mean, one of my key routines is working out. I love running. I love going to the gym, lifting weights. It helps relieve the stress from from looking at the charts all day.
Yeah.
So that's one of my key routines. I try to either go to the gym or go for a run outside every day just to get my my endorphins flowing, and just get into a positive mental state. Because if you're if you're not in a good mental state, you probably shouldn't be trading, because that's going to impact your trading decisions. So I guess that's my my biggest routine, just working out. I know other people, they like to meditate or do yoga or whatever. But for me, working out is kind of like a meditation for me, and that's one of the key things that I do. Yeah. Well, what about you, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with me. I like going to the gym a lot, just to get my mind off the charts, especially in the morning, as well as try to do yoga and meditate. I haven't meditated in a while, but I am.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I do want to get back into that. It's very good for your body and your mindset. So yeah, it's mainly just gym, and I used to run a lot, so that obviously helps with trading, because if you over trade and you look at the chart for too long, you start to over analyze. But I think the more time you start trading, you understand that you just need time away from the charts.
Yeah. I would also add, just try to have just a life outside of trading, because it can get very addicting just looking at the charts every day. Try to spend time with your friends, with your family. Go out, see a movie, read a book. Just do something to get away from the charts, because especially now, like the technology we have TradingView on our laptops, we have it on our phones. It's like, we have access to market data 24/7. So I think it's good to just take a break sometimes and, just do other things, like focus on your hobbies, focus on spending time with your friends. And yeah, just, do things outside of trading is another key thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, even just having a day off from trading is something that, just to reset your mindset. If let's just say you had a bad day or whatever, you can always just have a day off just to reset, and that's all you pretty much need.
Yeah.
So it looks like
It's just
yeah, sorry.
it's a blessing and a curse that crypto trades 24/7. So sometimes it's hard to take a break.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're trading the crypto markets, if you were trading like Forex or the equity markets, Saturday and Sunday are closed, so we can't even do anything. But with crypto, it's kind of hard to take a break, at least for me.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, especially on the weekend, you still find yourself looking at the charts even if you want to take a break. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. The next winner for the question is it is 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. My main motivation is that I can actually make money by myself. That's learning trading is a skill, and once you unlock that ability, it does make it a lot easier to earn money. So well done for actually winning that 50 USDT bonus. Please put your UID in the chat below, and we'll be able to send that with you. It looks like everyone else has done that. We still need your UID tick videos, I think, and then obviously, yeah, it's just tick videos for now. And then the last question is, when do you think Bitcoin and Ethereum will reach a new all-time high? So while we wait for that, Boris, when do you think Bitcoin and Ethereum will hit a new all-time high? It's quite a hard question to answer, but
it's a hard question. But actually, I was thinking about that for myself, because I think actually I came up with that question. So I'm happy to actually go into my thought process. If you want to revert to my screen, and I can do my best to answer that particular question. So the question is, when will Ethereum and Bitcoin reach a new all-time high?
Cynthia says next month. I don't think it will be next month.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you
I
never
hope
know.
so, because if that happens, I'm probably gonna buy myself a yacht and a jet airplane.
But yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's happening at this current time. But yeah, it's just, to answer that question, it's just important to understand time, and just the amount of time it takes for a market cycle to play out.
Yeah.
So for example, looking at the weekly chart of Bitcoin, back in the bull run of 2017, this is when I first started trading crypto back in December of 2017. We had this massive parabolic blow off top, and then yeah, guys, like, how long did it take to reach a new all-time high for Bitcoin from the end of 2017? It took close to 3 years, because if you just scroll forward, we had a big downtrend up until 2019, then tried to make another rally, but it failed to reach the previous high from 2017. And then it took us an entire pretty much 3 years to break the new all-time high, so that the breach of the 20K level occurred was, I think, in late 2020. So yeah, it took about 3 years to make a new all-time high for Bitcoin, and probably Ethereum as well.
Yeah.
And at this current point in time, just given how the market is more mature, and it takes a lot more capital to move the market, I think, so the previous all-time high for Bitcoin occurred in November of 2021, and it's currently it's April of 2023. So, guys, I think it might be potentially at least another year, perhaps
Yeah.
even 2 years, just given that the market is more mature before we reach a new all-time high. And that's obviously going to depend on the macro environment, which is, I don't know, not too great right now in my view. So it's going to depend on a lot of factors. I don't think we'll be seeing a new high like next month or even like I don't know later this summer. But um, yeah, I think it'll take a few years at least.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, Dylan?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we still have the Bitcoin halving next year in April. So
Yeah, good
I
point.
think I think once we get into that stage of the halving, I think that's when we start, actually seeing exponential gains. So I mean, I still believe we're only gonna see the new all-time high after any time after the halving. It wouldn't be before then. It would probably be after, a year later maybe, or like within some within 1 to 2 years later. That's what I would say. So I'm waiting for the halving, especially.
Hmm.
I don't think within this year. Obviously, I think within this year we can reach like that 40,000 level. We could
Yeah.
retest that zone, but um, you know, I'm still waiting for that halving for that next push up. Yeah, I mean, so
I
the
agree.
the last question, when do you guys think Bitcoin and Ethereum will reach their all-time high? We still need one more answer from someone in the chat, and then that would lead to the end of discussion. We have gone over pretty much all the different charts. I do want to say thanks so much, Boris, for being here today, for taking your time and joining me today and teaching people our strategies and our setups and letting them understand what we're looking at. So I think a lot of people would appreciate your time and your effort for
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah, thanks Dylan and everyone else at CoinW for arranging this. Yeah, sorry guys about the audio issues in the beginning. Hopefully, I think we'll get that sorted out if we do live
Yeah,
streams in the future. Um, but yeah, hope you guys gain some valuable insight. And yeah, just remember to guys join the Telegram group. We have a lot of analysts covering the markets pretty much 24/7, 365, even on the weekends. And we have global coverage from, myself in New York, Dylan in Dubai. We got
yeah,
analysts in California, in
exactly.
Texas, and all over the world. So I don't know any other community that does like a 24/7 market coverage of what's happening. So we'll keep you guys ahead of the curve for sure.
Yeah, thanks so much, Boris. I do say we do have Emma that's replied to that. Well done to you, Emma. You're eligible for that USDT bonus. Please put your UID in the chat so you can actually get that 50 super bonus in your account. We will be airdropping those within the next couple of days. So it seems like we've got pretty much everyone else's UID. We will just need yours, Emma. But yeah, thanks again, Boris, for being here. And yeah, please guys, make sure you join our Telegram group. I will put it in the chat now. I see that most of you guys are probably on that group, but I will put it's in the link below. So if you go to the comments, you'll see it there. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. We'll just need to wait for the UID for Emma. But yeah, I appreciate you being here, Boris. And
Yeah, my pleasure.
yeah,
It was a great discussion.
yeah, thanks. So yeah, let's just wait. I mean, for Emma's UID, and then yeah, thanks for everyone that's stuck around until the end. It was quite a long discussion, so yeah, I appreciate everyone for being here. And yeah, please, Emma, put your UID in the chat, so then we can send you that bonus. But it looks like we've got everyone else's. But in the meantime, make sure you obviously join the group. Like Boris was saying, we do a full 24-hour coverage of the market updates. So I mean, you won't see any other exchange doing that.
Yeah, Dylan, in the meantime, do you have any thoughts on no, I know we've been going for a long time, but any, I
Yeah,
guess,
close off.
last minute thoughts on what's happening
Yeah, let's
in
take
the
a look
short
at
term time frames?
yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the short-term time frame. So, I mean, this level here that I was looking at on the 1 hour chart, it looks like we got retested from that zone. So that 28,925 level was a level that I was looking at for potential longs, but you can see that we have, you know, the last 3 hours we haven't successfully broken that level. So yeah, I'm still looking at a potential short below 28,600. If we see a candle close below 28,600 on the 1 hour time frame, I'm looking for a potential short back down to 27,752. Yeah, so Bitcoin, I mean, if it doesn't break above 28,925, you know, then I'm more on the bearish side in terms of the 1 hour chart. But it's to do with the current range that we're in. So like if you look at the 15 or the 30-minute chart, it's still ranging between 28,900 and 28,600. So we need to see either a break to the upside or obviously a break to the downside. So I'm just currently waiting for that on the smaller time frames.
Yeah, I'm just looking at just all the CoinW futures pairs right now, and it seems like everything's in the green, except for I mean, Bitcoin's pretty much at break even, and I just noticed that Bitcoin dominance is actually going down today. It's down quite significantly by over 0.65% right now. So it seems like a lot of the current rally that we're seeing in the crypto space, a lot of it has to do with the altcoins. Yeah, some of the biggest gainers that I'm currently seeing are Ethereum's up 2%, Link is up almost 2%.
Yeah.
Arbitrum 1.5%, AVAX a little bit over 1%. Yeah, and it seems like the Nasdaq is it recovered its earlier losses. I think like pre-market it was actually down almost 1%, but now it's I think it's pretty much around it's pretty flat right now. And looks bullish on the lower time frames. So yeah, definitely interesting things happening. I really like this. I would like to see how the daily candle closes for everything.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. I would like to see the daily candle close for more of a confirmation in terms of like the bull side or the bear side scenario, especially looking at the altcoin market cap. You know, that is something that I'm looking forward to see how the candle does close, because that is going to tell me if we are bullish or bearish. So yeah, and also the dollar is coming down here. You know, if it breaks this is 105, 101.5, well then we can see more downside. Emma, yeah, so it looks like we've got all our UIDs, and thanks again, Boris, for coming to today's session. And remember, guys, we are turning to live. There is a live feature in the app now. We did a live today, and every week, all of our traders will be doing a live stream on the CoinW app. So thanks again, everyone, for being here, and thanks, Boris, for taking your time out to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.